Let's move on to this now. The Constitutional Court has today handed down judgment confirming the unconstitutionality of part of the South African Police Services Act insofar as it authorises warrantless searches. Now, on 20 July 2020, SERI filed an application in the Constitutional Court to confirm the High Court order declaring the Section 13(7)(c) of the SAPS Act constitutionally invalid. Now, SERI represented the residents of 11 buildings in inner city Johannesburg who were challenging the lawlessness and constitutionality of over 20 police raids conducted between 30th of June 2017 and 3rd of May 2018. Now, let's get more reaction. We are joined via Zoom by Nkosinathi Sithole, Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa's senior attorney. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us this afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Nati, and good afternoon to your listeners as well.
Now, let's firstly get your reaction to the ConCourt's judgment and what it means, not only for the residents you represented, but as a precedent, and also perhaps in that comment, why did it take the ConCourt so long to come to a decision?
I'm not sure if I can answer that, but nonetheless, the ConCourt has ultimately come to its decision, and the decision is one which, confirms and the fundamental constitutional prescripts that we are given in terms of the Constitution, particularly the right to privacy, Section 14.
Now, talk to me about what this essentially means. I mean, we know that the police over this period of time conducted these searches without any warrant, and of course you were representing these residents. What essentially was that about it not being constitutional, according to you?
Yes. So what used to happen, and you'll remember this was around the time of the former Joburg mayor, Herman Mashaba, who was fixated with his ideologies of cleaning up the inner city, in a sense, cleaning up people whom he did not consider to be fit residents of the inner city, we believe. These raids were conducted in the most inhumane manner, and they were made particularly to victimize the poor in the inner city, categorizing them as basically criminals and people who are not worthy to live in the city. And they would be visited around the early hours of the morning, taken away from, taken out of their homes, thrown into the streets, and and searched in a degrading manner. So all of that shows how the poor were treated, and this section in particular was used by the state to continue to victimize the poor under the guise of maintaining law and order in a particular place. So basically, what this section did was that it allowed the police to basically issue authorization to say a particular area will be cordoned off, and a raid will then be conducted in that area without any a search warrant having been prior authorized. And the people will be searched in that degrading manner which I've alluded to. All of that is a clear violation of Section 14 of the Constitution, which governs the right to privacy and not have your person or home being searched without a warrant. Now, what the Constitutional Court has done was to confirm the High Court's judgment, which was to declare this part of the section unconstitutional. And what it has done on top of that is to provide a reading that is in line with the Constitution to say that the searches of this nature, if indeed they are to promote law and order, they must be done within the prescripts of Section 21 and Section 22 of the Criminal Procedure Act. So it basically means that they have to be done with a search warrant. If there's no search warrant that is issued prior by a judge, they cannot be done. And only to an extent where the state can show that indeed there is a possibility that if they can get a search warrant, it will delay, their efforts in combating whatever specifically identified criminal activity that is taking place.
Now, Nkosinathi, as an organization that looks after socio-economic rights of South Africans, how much of these degrading raids have you handled so far, or have you been seeing? Because, as you've indicated, these raids seem to affect not only the poor, but also Black South Africans. I mean, we can name a couple of these events that we've seen in Cape Town even, where a man who was stripped of his dignity, removed from his house in full view of his neighborhood and his community, where he was naked and was removed by the city.
Indeed, we've seen so much of these raids. Hence, we took the decision to consolidate all of the areas in the inner city of Johannesburg, where we normally operate, to bring this challenge. In order not only to vindicate the rights of those in Joburg inner city, but as you correctly put it, in the whole South Africa. And we've recently seen this after the unrest in July, where police suddenly decided that they will raid people's homes, violating their right to privacy, in an effort of apparently confiscating stolen goods. You see, all of that, the Constitutional Court has declared, has confirmed with this order that it is unconstitutional. And just to add on that, apart from the raids that are being conducted in terms of this Section 37, there has been also a tendency by the city to conduct its own raids outside the prescripts of any law, together with Home Affairs officials. That in the order also was declared, so the city has been interdicted from conducting those raids. So if the city should continue such unlawful raids, they will be in effect violating this order.
Nkosinathi, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Certainly a very important case. Nkosinathi Sithole there, he is the Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa's senior attorney. Of course, this comes after the Constitutional Court handed a judgment today, basically confirming the unconstitutionality of part of the South African Police Service Act insofar as authorizing warrantless searches, etc. So it should mean that we will start seeing an end to those warrants at residence, places of business, as well as homes without a warrant. But we'll continue with more of your stories right after this.